Congresswoman Malliotakis, Republican from New York. She's the daughter of a Cuban immigrant who left the country following the rise of Fidel Castro. So moments like this, I imagine, are very important to you. Do you think that the Biden administration has done enough, or maybe some of your colleagues in Congress? I noticed a lot of Republicans put out statements in support of the Cuban people seeking freedom. But do you think the Biden administration wants to normalize relations with the regime?
Well, so far the Biden administration has done nothing, and previously the Obama administration just tried to make so many concessions to the Castro regime and get nothing in return for the people. We as Cuban Americans, we want to see freedom, we want to see democracy, we want to see human rights. We want to see the dual currency system, which pays the Cuban people what equates to $15 a month, in which they have to work months in order to buy a pair of shoes or food, be totally dismantled. We want to ensure that Cuban people have the opportunity to elect their own government, and that's what we will continue to push for. I will say this. We have a record number of Cuban Americans in Congress. There's 3 senators, and we have 7 members in the House, and we are united to push the Biden administration to help bring change, help bring democracy to Cuba, for our families that still live there, and for the many dissidents who have come to the United States and just want to see freedom in their homeland, as my mother would want to see.
So then, are there concrete things you would like to see them do immediately?
Well, I think first and foremost, they should try to open up a dialogue to push the change for democracy. They certainly should not go back to what President Obama did and make concessions without getting anything in exchange. I think that, it's incredibly important that we do not mess this up. And I think that President Biden has a real opportunity. I know that if President Trump was there right now, he would be doing everything in his power to try to bring real change. We want freedom, democracy, free and fair elections, and of course, restoration of human rights. But really what people need to understand is that people in Cuba right now, they are starving. They don't have food. They have very difficult conditions. Those who don't have families here to help them are really in dire straits. And even those who have help from the United States of American relatives, it hardly gets to the people. And so it's very incredibly difficult. But what I will say is, if you noticed yesterday, they were marching with the American flag. And I think that's a reminder to Americans here how lucky and fortunate we are to be in this country where we do have freedom, where we are a democracy, where we elect our representatives, and we have liberties that people dream about in other countries. And that should be a reminder, particularly to those Americans here who lack appreciation, some of the athletes that turn their backs to the American flag. Look how much we're loved and want to be emulated with freedom in other parts of the world.
It's true. Dissidents all over the world, when they are seeking freedom, they fly the American flag from Hong Kong to Cuba and elsewhere. I also wanted to ask you about your trip to the Middle East. There's big changes right now with a transition to a different government in Israel. Your reactions about that, and any concerns that you have about the region in regards to Iran?
Yeah, I was very proud to be part of a bipartisan coalition of Democrats and Republicans from the United States of America House of Foreign Affairs Committee that went to Israel and met with the new government. We were the first delegation to do that. It's an interesting dynamic. They have people of 8 different parties, right wing, center, and left wing, including an Arab Muslim for the first time, who have come together to form this coalition after 4 elections in just 2 years. So what's interesting to see is that they're very much focused on domestic policy right now, making sure that they work on economic issues, infrastructure, the upcoming budget there, where they feel that they can find common ground. I think that's going to be a really interesting test to see if this coalition will last. They've also made it very clear that they're concerned about United States potentially re-entering JCPOA and the Iran deal. They have said very clearly they do not want us to be doing that, and certainly with the new election of that, or even though it was a sham election of the new president, Raisi in Iran, it's even bigger concern. The United States has sanctions against him. This is somebody who's responsible for the murder of thousands of Iranians who fought for human rights and freedom there. So certainly caution to President Biden not to re-enter this deal, and make sure that there are massive changes made to make it better.
Congresswoman, thank you. Thank you for coming on after that big trip. We appreciate it.
Thank you.